What's up again, everybody? Okay, check this out. Check this out. Transition. Boom. Boom. Okay, so Jimmy O'Brien. If you don't know who Jimmy O'Brien is, he's like a big deal at WizKids. Jimmy, if you're watching this, you're a big deal, and I appreciate you. Anyway, he does a lot of Dice Master stuff, like a lot of Dice Master stuff with WizKids, and he posted this in the Dice Masters Unlimited Facebook group that said, open-ended question, what is the, or who is the best character we've ever pictured on a Dice Masters card, but they've never gotten their own card? And so I was scrolling through the comments, of which there are currently like 75, currently 75, and oh my goodness, we get a lot of Galactus, okay? And honestly, Galactus would be my vote as well. The fact that Galactus isn't in this game yet is just so sad to me, okay? He's literally shown on the picture Distraction from like set number 1 or whatever, and he hasn't made an appearance as his own card. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is what a missed opportunity. We got to get Galactus in the game. Look, there's all these other options. People throwing out good ideas. I'm just scrolling down. Just some great little things, but Galactus pops up a ton, okay? And because of that, I thought to myself, you know what we should do? We should make a custom Galactus card. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I feel like we've done this before. I feel like we've been down this road before. And you know what? I was right. I went onto my computer and I did a quick search. I literally just typed the word Galactus, and spoiler alert, all the way back in 2018, we designed our own community-designed Fantastic Four team pack, okay? I can't believe I forgot about this. I feel so stupid. But we designed literally an entire team pack, and Galactus was one of them. I don't know why this is so funny to me, because I was like, man, Galactus should totally be in this. And I went on there, I was like, they should do this and this and this. And then I was so dumb to not remember that, oh yeah, we totally made our own cards for Galactus. So here's what we're going to do. This was posted back in 2018. We made it all together. We're going to revisit all of the cards that we came up with in this community-based team pack, and we're gonna go card by card and kind of look at the abilities that we had come up with and see how they stand up after 2 years of sets and that sort of stuff. See how interesting the cards are, if they're good, if we predicted anything, if they're terrible. Let's go ahead and do it. So we should start with Galactus, because I totally forgot it existed. On the far left, we have Galactus, Destroyer of Worlds. We used the Thanos die, so he's got that big old beefy stat line, and we made him a 10-cost mask with the villain affiliation, and it says, when fielded, return all purchased dice from both players' field zone, prep area, and used pile to their cards. Galactus is immune to this effect. So if you can buy him for 10, when you field him, literally all purchases go back to their cards. The game sort of resets, except you have like a 9/9 and your opponent has a bunch of sidekicks. That is that's incredibly powerful, which is probably what it should be, right? For 10, you should probably be incredibly powerful. Galactus, Not Without Mercy, is an interesting one. I like this one. This one's cute. Overcrush, okay? When fielded, set your opponent's health to 20. So you give them full health if they, if they were hurt at all. While your opponent has more health than you, Galactus gets +10 and +10. He gets +10, +10 in Overcrush. So he's a 19/19 on top. So you can't even win with him just as is, because he's a 19/19 Overcrush, not 20/20 Overcrush. So that one's pretty interesting as well. Maybe that should be 9 cost. Okay, here's Galactus, the final one, I Hunger. He's a 12 cost. And it says, when fielded, reduce your opponent's life to 1. These are so stupidly good. They're so stupidly funny. Is that actually a possible card? No, it actually should probably be cheaper. It should just straight up probably be cheaper. Maybe that should be a 10 cost as well. That's pretty funny. I love that. Okay, let's see what else we came up with to go along with Galactus, because Galactus isn't always by himself. If you know the comics, he has a herald that, calls that, you know, he's arriving to this planet to eat it. And oftentimes that herald was the Silver Surfer. So we made 3 Silver Surfers because that's how these team packs work. The first one is a 4-cost. It's Silver Surfer, Power from Within. He's a villain on all 3. I also want to say the community picked some great art. I threw up, if you didn't, not threw up. I shouldn't say that with the stuff going on. No, I threw a bunch of images on the screen. I didn't throw up. And when I threw them on the screen, I said, which of these 4 that I've picked do you guys want to use? And they would vote, and we came up with these art. We used the Iceman from the Amazing Spider-Man set, and it looks just like it. Look at that. The die is so perfect. The first one, as I said, is a 4-cost Bolt, villain affiliated. While he's active, when another card's effect would cause you to lose or pay life, gain it instead. If another card's effect would cause you to gain life, lose it instead. This card should be printed. That card just should be printed. The fact that that doesn't exist, like in this day and age, that is an ability that should be printed, and I'm sad that it doesn't, because lose life is there's cards that have been printed with, like, you lose this much life when you feel like Kate Bishop, right? The fact that it doesn't exist makes me super sad. They should print that. Come on, WizKids, print that card. Silver Surfer. I can't read the small print. He something. You can probably read it better than I can. I've got it up in 2 screens. 5-cost Bolt character. When fielded, choose 1. All players move all sidekick character dice from their field zone to their used pile. Or all players move all sidekick dice from their used pile to their field zone. Now, if we were to well, maybe we want to go around it. Okay, so the current rules are that if something leaves the field on your turn, it would go to the spent pile or the transition zone. Okay, but if it's your opponent's turn, it would go to the used pile directly, right? Because that doesn't exist. That zone doesn't exist on your opponent's turn. So this card's, like, as is really bad for you. It's really bad for you and good for your opponent, because then you wouldn't be able to make use of any of these sidekicks, and they would be able to make use of it with globals and stuff. But maybe we wanted this card to be one of those where it really does go to the used pile. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Probably not too good for a 5-drop. Should probably come down a bit. Silver Surfer, the final one, Herald of Galactus. While Silver Surfer is active, Galactus gains Impulse Field Galactus. So in other words, if you get this Silver Surfer out and you can finally afford to buy Galactus, he is just fielded. He gains the impulse. He gains impulse. Field him, which would trigger his when fielded effects. Which, if you remember, he had some pretty powerful when fielded effects, right? So when fielded, they all had that effect. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so those are the 2 main ones, but let's go really quickly and look at all of the other cards that we came up with. See if we got any of these interesting abilities predicted right. So Dr. Doom, I'm going to go fast. I'm not going to mention all the die stats and the purchase costs. While he's active, when a Doombot is fielded, you can use a global ability for free. What? 2 years ago, we came up with that ability. And I'm pretty sure WizKids is like, we should watch this stream that has, like, very, very middling views, and we should take that ability because the community said it, right? Because they put that on. Do I have the card anywhere? Oh man, I don't have it sitting out. They put that on. What is it? It's not Gazer. It's the. Why can't I remember the Beholder's name? You'll put it in the comments below. It's literally the Spark ability on the Beholder from the new Trouble in Waterdeep. God, I can't believe I'm blanking on Xanathar. There you go, Xanathar's name. Anyway, Mad Genius, the middle one, says, while he's active, you may KO a Doombot die to deal 3 damage to target opposing character die. I think this card is still really good. I think they should print this as well. I think it's really cool, the fact that you just KO something, which is awesome, and the fact that it deals 3, which is a great break point. Now that Shriek is going to be gone, it's not as good, but it's still a great break point, okay? And then finally, when fielded, all opponents must sacrifice a character die. They could print that, and that would be balanced enough. They could actually print that card too. Speaking of Dr. Doom, we should look at the Doombots, because we came up with 3, and they're a little bit broken. Doombot, the one on the left, is a 2-cost mask that says he costs 1 less for each of your active Doombot dice. So if you buy 1, get it out there, he costs 1. Doombot gets +1/+1 while Doctor Doom is active. So the stat line, I think we use the skeleton die. The stat line would get pretty beefy. He gets a 4/4, a 3, a 3/2, a 3/3, and a 4/4, something like that. It's not a bad one. The middle one, while he's a 1-cost, okay? We've never had problems with 1-cost masks ever. While Doctor Doom is active, your Doombot dice gain Infiltrate and Swarm. Whoa, 1-cost Infiltrate Swarm? That's not broken at all. That's so dumb. And then Doombot, the far right one, Swarm. While Dr. Doom is active, when a Doombot is fielded, you may purchase a Doombot die for free and add it to your bag. So it like auto triggers Swarm. That is too good. That's broken, and that should not be printed. People would hate that. Okay, the next one. This is possibly the best art that we found. Possibly the best art that we found. Okay, Human Torch, the controlled burn on the far left. 4-cost bolt. When he attacks, you can pay 2 bolts, and if you do, Human Torch deals 2 damage to up to 3 opposing character dice. Like, that's pretty cool, right? Return any character dice KO'd by this damage to the opponent's bag. Oh my god, that is really good. That's a good ability. That's too good. They should nerf that down and then they could print it. When fielded, the middle one says you may pay a bolt, and if you do, deal 1 damage to target character die, then deal 2 damage to a target character die that hasn't been damaged. Then continue doing this until something's been KO'd. So basically, this has the Mjolnir effect, the Mjolnir ability, or is it the? Is it this? I think we just straight ripped this from Mjolnir and just slapped it on here. I'm pretty sure we did that. Someone fact check me. And the final one, Impulse. If you spend 3 bolts, because it costs 3, if you spent 3 bolts to purchase Human Torch die, field him at level 1. Okay, so you get a 3/1 on the field. Wow, they could print that. That one is actually like totally fine. That's super interesting. I could see that one actually making the cut. That's pretty cool. All right, Mr. Fantastic. When Mr. Fantastic is active, opposing action dice and character abilities can only target Mr. Fantastic. This is literally the card that they just banned. This is the card that they just banned in Global Escalation and Golden. It's Ring of Magnetism slapped onto a 4-drop with a beefy body. No, actually, no, he's a 5. We made him a 5/4. Okay, we used the die stats from. Oh man. X-Men First Class, the one guy. He wasn't very good. Anyway, we use those. Okay, so that's not too bad. I guess he's a 5/4, whatever. When the middle one says, when Mr. Fantastic is active, oops, we should have put that little 4 symbol on there. Your Fantastic 4 character dice cost 1 less to field. Okay, we have seen that printed time and time again, so that's very balanced. That's very easy. It's actually not very good, honestly. And then finally, Mr. Fantastic flexibility is key. When Mr. Fantastic blocks, you may give him -X attack to a minimum of 0 and +X defense to, you may do this for each individual Mr. Fantastic die. So, in other words, on his top level, he could drop to 0 on his attack and up to 9, so he could be an 09. That is a cool ability. That is a really cool ability, especially in a meta that's very combat focused. Do you know any metas that are going to be combat focused? I don't know. I can't think of a single one that would be combat focused at all. Okay, the second to last card. I almost made a joke here, but I'm not gonna. The second to last card is the Thing, and the Thing has 3 6-cost versions. The first one says, when Thing attacks, if you control 2 other different Final Fantasy. Not Final Fantasy, that doesn't make any sense. When you control 2 other different Fantastic Four characters, place a stun token on target opposing character card. So stun tokens were a really cool effect that they only played around with, I think, in 2 sets. I think a stun token snuck into one of the other sets, but it was in, oh man. It was on the Amazing Spider-Man set, and, oh no, it was Batman, because they used it for Mr. Freeze, right? Yeah. So they used it in that set, and maybe they didn't use it again, but that's a cool effect. I wish they could play around with stun tokens some more. Okay, this middle one, I'm pretty sure they printed this ability. This middle one, it's Clobbering Time, Smash. They didn't keyword it, right? I think this is a thing, like on a Hulk card. When the character KOs another character die, this character die is moved to the use pile instead of the prep area. I feel like that's a thing. I don't know, maybe it's not, or maybe I'm giving something away. Anyway, I think it's a thing. And then the final one, the one I'm most hyped for, Intimidate 2. When fielded, remove 2 target opposing character dice from field zone until the end of the turn. Did they come up with an Intimidate 2 character? I'm pretty sure I can think of, you know, some very beefy dude, maybe a superstar that has Intimidate 2. I don't know, just throwing that out there. We might have called that ability just a little bit before it actually came out, because they printed that very recently, very recently. Okay, I was gonna make this joke. I was gonna say, and that's it. You guys saw the Invisible Woman, but I didn't make it because it's cheesy, and I'm just gonna show you Invisible Woman, because, like, you know, I'd pretend that she was invisible. Anyway, Invisible Woman. The far left one, I can't read the subtitle because it's too tiny on my screen. It says, Invisible Woman, it has Impulse. You can pay a mask, and if you do, add this die, the one you purchased, to your opponent's bag. When they draw Invisible Woman, place her in your prep area. They do not redraw to replace Invisible Woman. So it clogs up their bag. They're pulling things that you're prepping, and then you know, they're getting less dice in return. I think that's pretty cool. It cost 5 to do it, though. Maybe we cheapen that. We can make that cheaper. Anyway, the middle one says Synergy. While Invisible Woman is active, you may pay a mask to cancel any instance of non-combat damage directed to you or your characters. Okay, if you forgot what synergy abilities are, they're abilities that popped up only in Green Arrow and the Flash, and essentially it's like a global ability, but you can only use it while the character's active, and only you, the controlling player, can use the ability. So that's a really cool one. I think makes a ton of sense for when we printed it back in the I'm gonna burn you to death with all, you know, non-combat damage days. I like that one. I think that one should have been printed. It's pretty cool. And the final one costs 3, not 4, and it says Invisible Woman cannot be blocked the turn that she's fielded. And then it has global, pay a mask. Target character cannot attack this turn unless its owner pays 1 life. This is literally the Kitty Pryde card from set 2, UXM, I think. It's literally Kitty Pryde on Invisible Woman. We just wanted to like do one of those throwback cards, the one where you just call back like an ability that we all remember. That was literally the card. So those are the cards that the community came up with back in 2018. Isn't it crazy? We actually called some of those abilities. Some of those we like straight up nailed, you guys. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. Everyone put your hand like this. Put your hand like this. I know you're watching, so put your hand like this. Now turn it this way. Okay, turn it this way like the, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Now, pat yourself on the back. You did a great job. Good work. If you did that at home, leave a comment below. Tell me if you actually did that. Like, type it in the comments. If you did that just now, you're just like my middle school kids. They do it all the time. They don't even realize what they're doing. It's great. All right, which of these cards is your favorite? Which character would you like to see them actually print? Did you enjoy this whole team pack, and would you like to see a Fantastic Four theme pack? Theme pack, team pack, team theme pack. Would you like to see it? Leave me a comment below. Hit the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to support me down here on Patreon, feel free to hop in the link in the description. And as always, thanks for watching.